Hello kind people of YouTube and welcome back to another video. This is just a really quick one. There's just two stories that I kind of haven't been able to squeeze into other videos this week so far that I just quickly wanted to talk about. And you can already see them here. I'll just get through them. As always, they're linked in the description. But let's start with this first one from CCN. Cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase lists 4 more Ethereum tokens. Now, of course, the other day we had the announcement from Coinbase that they're looking at 31 potential coins to add to their platform. And then just a few hours later, we actually got 4 of them already on there. And those are Civic, CVC, District OX, DNT, Loom Network, Loom, and Decentraland Mana. And let's look at the article. The most popular US cryptocurrency exchange is continuing its promise to support Ethereum-based ERC20 tokens, adding 4 more to the Coinbase Pro platform. So not on the normal Coinbase platform yet, but on Coinbase Pro. And this is their announcement. Once sufficient liquidity is established, trading will begin on each respective USDC order book. Trading will initially be accessible for Coinbase Pro users in the US, excluding New York, UK, European Union, Canada, Singapore, and Australia. There are 4 stages of launch for each token, beginning with the acceptance of transfers into the platform, then post only will allow the posting of limit orders for a short time, before limit orders will start matching. After this point, full trading will become available. So these 4 coins are now coming to Coinbase Pro. That usually means they are coming to regular Coinbase about a week or 2 later. And it generally takes a couple days for all of this to happen on Coinbase Pro at first. So some of them might already be live now. At the latest, Monday, Tuesday, they should probably be all live on Coinbase Pro. And then about a week later, we can usually expect them on regular Coinbase. Now, of course, if you're in New York, then you won't be able to trade. That is always the one state in the US that has limitations. But this, of course, is a further step in Coinbase's efforts to diversify the assets that are available on their platform. Now, Coinbase adding coins is becoming less influential every time they do it. As we're seeing now, these coins have seen much less happening to their price movements after this announcement. Usually, or rather the last couple times that coins were added, like about a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, BAT was added. In the run-up to that, we saw massive price movements. I think BAT went up over 50%, maybe even more. And then, of course, once it was actually listed, the price fell again because people wanted their profits. But that effect is getting smaller with every additional coin because being listed on Coinbase used to be a very prestigious thing. It used to, at least that is how people saw it. That is how a lot of investors, especially a lot of mainstream investors saw it. They saw being on Coinbase as a kind of like gold status. That meant you were special. That meant you were like a specifically selected like main cryptocurrency that was safe to invest in. That isn't necessarily true, but that is how people saw it, because Coinbase is, as much as a lot of us don't want it to be, Coinbase is the one of the first pages that a lot of investors who are interested in crypto will find experience with. Coinbase is the first address that a lot of people go to when they want to buy cryptocurrencies. So being listed there or not being listed there is still influential, but that impact is going down with them adding more and more coins. And with us knowing that like 30 more are coming, the impact that any individual listing has is, of course, going down. Even just the fact that they added 4 at the same time, I don't think we've ever seen that from them. I think we've always had 1 at a time before. And of course, in the coming weeks, we can expect at least a dozen or 2 dozen more coins to be going on Coinbase, at which point pretty much all the major cryptocurrencies should be available there. And that will be a very different face of the crypto world because, like I said, as much as a lot of us don't want it to be the case, a lot of people who are just getting into cryptocurrencies, a lot of them are very confused about where they can buy cryptocurrencies, how to buy them, what to get. And a lot of them end up on Coinbase and they're going to buy whatever is available there. So the more coins are on there, the better ultimately for the entire market, because it just opens the floodgates. It is just the place that people go. Not a lot of established crypto traders. A lot of established crypto investors who have been in the space for years do not use Coinbase, but a lot of newbies do. And we are waiting for more newbies to come in. And any coin that is available there has a better shot at becoming mainstream. And we have another thing going on that is actually pretty big that I haven't seen reported about all that much. Ripple, NEM, Fetch, and Emurgo launch blockchain for Europe. Now, something that is increasingly becoming more important in the crypto world is working on putting a proper face forward for us as the crypto space, for advocating for crypto to businesses, to investors, to regular people, to tech developers, and also to governments and regulators. And not that many of the major crypto powers have really been paying attention to that yet. But it's happening more and more. We are developing what is pretty much lobbying arms now, which I get that is generally something that is frowned upon because it is often being misused. But in the case of crypto, if we want proper regulation that is not anti-crypto, we need to be represented to politicians, to companies, to developers, and this is a move in that direction. And it's always beautiful to see cooperation between different crypto firms. 4 blockchain companies, Ripple, NEM, Fetch AI, and Emurgo, are aiming to create a unified voice for blockchain in Europe as regulators and governments consider how to exert their influence on this new technology and the new financial ecosystem it is creating. The press release says the policy debate in Europe has been fragmented, with inconsistent information from those outside the blockchain sector challenging consensus within it. Hence the formation of this new association, which hopes to educate policymakers and stakeholders in the European Union on the potential of DLT and blockchain. It hopes to ensure that anticipated regulation promotes and boosts innovation in Europe. NEM is already established as a platform for enterprise blockchains and has a presence in Europe and around the globe. Ripple is gaining ground in the blockchain space with a growing number of partnerships with banks and payment providers. Its coin XRP overtook Ethereum this year to become the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Fetch AI and Emurgo, meanwhile, are less recognizable names. The former is working on a smart ledger that uses machine learning and artificial intelligence, but its technology is not yet live. The latter is one of 3 governing bodies of the Cardano blockchain, along with IOHK and the Cardano Foundation, and is its commercial arm. Cardano is another 3rd-generation blockchain being built with the promise of increased capabilities and scaling potential. Similarly, its technology won't be ready until later in 2019. So here you have essentially Ripple, the people behind XRP, NEM, and some of the core people working on Cardano, and Fetch AI, which is a newer company that doesn't have a product out yet, coming together to advocate for blockchain, to get correct information out there, to essentially lobby, but I don't think they're engaging in direct lobbying work. But for now, they have hosted the Blockchain for Europe Summit on November 27th, with 4 of the largest European parliamentary groups interested in blockchain in attendance, including the European Commission's FinTech Task Force. So they're having a direct connection to the European government here, to European nations, to people that ultimately make decisions. The new association hopes to help Europe to create smart regulation to shape the global agenda on blockchain, according to the release. Dan Morgan, head of regulatory relations for Ripple in Europe, said this is a critical time for policymakers in Europe as they seek to develop the right regulatory framework to capture the benefits of both digital assets and blockchain technology. Christoph van der Reck, co-founder of the NEM Foundation, added, "There's a lack of unbiased information, especially when it comes to the open and decentralized application of the technology." He hopes Blockchain for Europe will provide insights which are not tailored to the agenda of specific organizations or stakeholders. The combination of Asia-backed blockchain companies NEM and Emurgo, UK-based Fetch, and US-based Ripple is perhaps surprising for a Europe-focused organization. That said, it is clear that Europe is a major blockchain market and all 4 hope to take advantage of that, as well as ensuring perhaps a global regulatory precedent. If the EU were to create regulation that stifles blockchain, the aspirations of all 4 blockchain companies and the promise of this emerging technology could be at risk. Now, why am I talking about this? Why does this matter? This matters because here we see a bunch of companies that have different products, that are not working on the same thing, coming together to work for the greater good, and that is the health of the general blockchain market, the cryptocurrency market. They're not here to promote their individual products. They're here to promote the entire space, and I think that is beautiful because what I've been saying for a while now is I think the blockchain space, the cryptocurrency space, is not a zero-sum game. I don't think there's only space for one cryptocurrency or only for a handful of cryptocurrencies. I think we need to look at this like we do at, say, the stock market. There's not just one company on the stock market. There are hundreds of companies. And they can coexist. They do different things, they have different specialities. Even within the same industry, there's almost never a full monopoly of only one company. And what I see a lot in the crypto space, and what's really disheartening for me, is that a lot of people are just fighting because they have one project they like, and they see everyone else as the enemy. And I don't think that needs to be the case. I have some coins that I support more than others, but I don't think that means those other coins have to disappear, or are terrible, or that people who support those other coins are my enemy. I think there's space for all of us. Now, there are definitely so-called shitcoins. There are coins that have no point to their existence, that don't do anything, that have no particular use case, that might even be scams. Now, those don't need to exist. But if we're looking at legitimate projects that have a good team behind them, that have real use cases, that have real collaborations, I don't think we need to pick one, and that will be our representative, that will be the face of cryptocurrencies, that will be the only one around. Because these are different, very different blockchains that have very different aims, that are trying to do very different things, that are doing them in different ways, and there is enough in this space for all of us. There's enough space for all of us. And the crypto space, we have different estimates, obviously, of how large it will grow. But it seems perfectly possible that the crypto space will be absolutely enormous in the future. Way bigger than we've ever seen before. That it will be in the trillions of dollars. That is so much market cap. That cryptocurrencies that have a valid reason to exist don't need to die just because other cryptocurrencies also have a valid reason to exist. And whenever I see major crypto companies like this working together to advocate for the entire space rather than for their own products, I think that is great. And I think as the crypto community, we should also be doing more of that. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you notice I very rarely attack any particular project unless it's an outright scam. I always try to be as objective, as neutral, and as fair as possible. Because the way I look at it, most of these major projects are perfectly legitimate. I try to look at them like you would look at companies. You can have some companies that you support over others that you think are better than others. But if they have a product out that has a large market cap, they're probably doing something right. They probably have a good team of people who believe in their product, who are trying to do their best. They're not evil. So every time I see these come together for the greater good, and not to push their own projects, but to help the entire market, they're helping to get regulators correct information, to have regulators have a fair look at the crypto world, unbiased, unaffected by some of the nonsense that people who are uninformed about the crypto markets have been saying. And now, of course, this won't be completely unbiased. They'll probably overstate some things in the positive. They'll probably not mention potential negatives as much. But honestly, there are so many people making an effort to kill the crypto space. It's not gonna work out, but they're trying. The more people we can have advocating for it in a systematic way, in a non-partisan way, in a way that isn't connected to any one company, the better. And I do wanna point out Ripple in particular here, because they've been doing something like this in the US as well. Ripple has started working with lobbying firms in the US to get directly in contact with lawmakers, with representatives, with regulators as well. And these other companies have also been doing a good job of that, but Ripple we see now doing it in different countries. I think this is great. I mean, we will have to see how large this project ends up being. I mean, they have had the summit for now, so that is already a pretty good start. Will that now be a yearly thing? Will they be having more events? Will they be working directly with regulators? Unclear right now, but in general, I think this is sending a very, very good signal for the for the crypto space. That even really big players, we have Ripple, we have NEM, we have some of the people that are working closely with Cardano. We have them working together for the greater good, for the crypto space in Europe and abroad, and I think that's wonderful. I think that is wonderful. I think that will pay dividends in the future for the entire space, and we should all be thankful for stuff like this. And with that, I'm going to end today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed yet, you should change that. I put out videos every single day. If you are subscribed yet and you really like my videos, There are ways to support me in the description, but even just leaving a like and comment really helps. If you don't have a YouTube, you just don't realize how important that stuff is. So I'm sorry to annoy you guys with that, but take those 10 seconds, leave a like, leave a comment. I really appreciate that. It really helps the channel grow. I'll be back with another video where I'll just look at the markets and the news of the day tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then.